Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the AC Show, the greatest show on YouTube. I am Aaron, aka the Handy Outdoor Nerd, and this sexy gentleman to my left is...
I'm Chris, aka Mr. Carol Science. How's everybody doing?
So, what has your week been like, Chris?
Well, it's been spring break this week, so my wife and I decided we were going to just stay home. So it's been pretty uneventful. Been trimming up my trees and trying to get the yard cleaned up a little bit. Just doing some kind of housework stuff.
Yeah. You gotta eliminate that shadow some on your face.
Trying to a little bit, yeah. I'm sitting right underneath the light, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a busy week for sure. Here we've had storms, tornadoes, snow.
It did snow at my house, which was crazy because it was like that one day it was really cold, and then the next day it was like 80.
I told you got the care package I sent you.
Yeah. I wish you would have sent a little more.
Well, I did, but it kind of got dispersed.
It snowed for like, I mean, it was probably snowing for a good half hour to an hour.
Wow.
But I mean, Arizona snow, so
yeah,
it was snowing, and there were some good sized snowflakes and stuff, but it wasn't gonna stick and had zero chances of sticking around. So I appreciate the little that you sent my way.
So then we got some a couple days after you got yours there, so but mine stuck around for quite a while.
Rarely does it snow here and stick around.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking, it'll snow for like, a few hours. It might even snow like overnight if we're really, really lucky. But we'll get, 2 inches of snow. It'll be melted by noon or whatever. So,
yeah. I understand. Happens.
2006, I think. 2006, or maybe it was January 07, something like that. It snowed like some places in my town got like 13 inches. It's just like dumped, which nice. we call that dumped. I don't know what you guys get normally, but it snowed like 13 inches. And the snow stuck around for like 3 days, man. It was great.
Yeah, usually if we get something like that, it sticks around for weeks.
Yeah, it stayed for like 3 days. I was working construction at the time, and my boss, I called him and I was like, "So are we going into work today?" Because we were working on a house out in the middle of the desert. And I was driving a little Hyundai Accent hatchback.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just don't think I'm going to be able to make it to the job site. And he says, "What are you trying to say? You want a snow day?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "All right." he ended up needing me for something over at his house. So he called me and go to his house. And then we had a snowball fight with his kids. It was awesome.
That's fun. That sounds fun. Yeah. So I got a package yesterday.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
I can't. It's kind of hush hush right now.
I
mean, if you weren't having such technical problems at the beginning, I could have talked to you before the start of the show.
Sorry, I was having some technical issues. One of those technical issues was an 18-month-old kid that was ready for bed.
Well, I don't consider that technical. That's just life. Technical was your your microphones.
I was having some issues with my microphone. Well, because I used the microphone on my webcam, but I was hoping that with my my headphones that I could use the built-in microphone there, but it works straight through Bluetooth. But I'm not Bluetooth to my laptop, which reminds me that I actually have a new laptop. I'm used to my old laptop that existed before Bluetooth did. I'm pretty sure. But my new laptop actually has this. I wonder if there's a way that I can connect this bad boy.
Well, we can try after the show.
I'll have to mess with it. See how it goes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so the package I got was from somebody who's been on the show before. And it's for me to do a review on. It is a lot bigger package than I thought it was going to be. So I had to hug the box to carry the box inside.
You had to hug the box. It was too big for you to wrap all the way around your arm.
Yeah, it was well, that, and it was rough shape from being shipped to said person's place, then to my place, close to 1,700, 1,700 miles. So coming this way, give or take. But yeah, no, it's now sitting in my office, and I just gotta make room so I can set my cameras up and do an unboxing of it and test it. So I'm
Nice, man.
super excited about that.
So I guess look out for some awesome new material on your channel, huh?
Yeah, there'll be the unboxing coming up. So the review I'm doing for the person, I've got to do a Q&A with them as well. I've got test prints for my printer that I have in my printer I have in my office, all my printers I need to do. So I've got test prints to do for some of that stuff there. I've got the review for this product and to test it out. So one, maybe two different videos there. I've got a couple different projects I'm going to be doing with this and some other printers that I have in the office as well. Try to mix things up, kind of use multiple things for for one project. That way I can get it kicked out a little faster, but make it so it's something I'm using multiple things and not just going on one. Like I'm thinking about using my resin printer. I was going to try to use my Mbot printer, but I think I'm going to wait on doing that because I've got kinks to work out with its print quality. I went to print more of Saba's sword, and the end, I'll have to send you. Well, no, I sent you the picture. Go if you look at your phone and look at the picture I sent you with the Mbot build plate size. It has the Saba sword. Look at the very tip of it and what it did to the tip of the sword.
That's off of the Mbot. You said it was from your ANET.
Yeah, that's the ANET size print bed.
Oh, but it was printed on the Mbot.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the Yeah, it's printed on the Mbot. That's the ANET size build plate. So around 8 inches. So if you look at the end of the sword, it.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it pretty much did a Hershey's kiss to the end of the sword, the tip.
I mean, when it gets so tiny like that, it's really difficult.
It didn't have a problem at the very bottom of it, where it has a little thing that's like about that long, but it's like that thick. that it printed down. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it did it. It could have just been a glitch in the software.
It's because it's
Happens at
round.
times.
It's because it's round. It's skinny and round.
Well, it wasn't
You just-
round. It wasn't even round. It was more. It wasn't even egg shaped. The tip of it is kind of like that. It's not even an oval.
No, I'm talking about
So-
the cross section. Talking about the cross section.
Well, yeah.
The
But-
cross section is kind of round. It's real narrow. It needed slower speed and more cooling.
Well, more than likely. So it was just kind of a, well, okay, that sucks. I can fix it. I don't want to, but I can fix it easily. I probably will. Just to utilize it and see.
Right.
But so yeah, I've got that to kind of work on, and I'm moving stuff around in my office so I can set my cameras up, because I'm gonna set my phone up, gonna set my old phone up as well, and then set my GoPro up. That way I have 3 different angles to record, and then do that from.
You gonna do a top-down perspective?
That is kind of the idea with my GoPro, because I could print the mount. It's the lightest thing, and then I can just have it mounted up above. So, and I've got a couple of tripods. I got this tripod I'm using here, and I've even thought about using this webcam and then another webcam, and using OBS software and just recording it that way from 2 different angles like that, so I can have it on tripods.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can have my mic set up on me and recording the audio. So it's just a bunch of different things I've got to test. So to do that, I'll have to have my laptop, and but yeah, it'll be an interesting setup to do. I'll be excited to do it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. It just occurred to me that I still have snowflakes in my windows.
That's okay. I still have my Christmas tree up.
There you go. I don't feel as bad. At least I don't have my Christmas tree still up.
Yeah.
My parents still have all their Christmas lights up, and they're probably gonna call me and be like, "When are you gonna come take the Christmas lights down?" Usually ends up being the case.
I can understand that. Yeah. I just got to get it done. I've been so busy and trying to get stuff done, and it just has not happened. So, all right. So let's get into today's topic for the show that I told you about on the phone earlier today. I just got to open up the page. All right.
So I had one of my former students message me a couple days ago.
Oh yeah.
And they're in college now. They've graduated. They're in college, which it just weirds me out that I've been teaching that long.
I was gonna say,
But I
does it
have
make you
students.
feel old, Chris?
It does, man. I had to do a Google Meet. He's taking some drafting and CAD classes or something, some design classes, and so as for he's designing this kind of a solenoid, I guess. And so he had this little thing he wanted to 3D print, but he doesn't have a 3D printer. And so his mom put out some sort of a Facebook message, does anybody I know have a 3D printer or whatever? And so I had to do a Google Meet with him so we could go over the print and make sure that everything was designed properly so it could print properly, And we pulled it up on the computer and everything. And when I saw his face, I said, dude, what happened? And he goes, what do you mean? And I was like, dude, you got a full beard. I mean, it was like solid. It was long. It was a pretty good sized beard. And I was like, what happened? He goes, high school.
That's funny.
But he wants me to print a design for this solenoid cover that he's got. He finally he got the file. He has sent me the file as a drawing, which is weird because everything came 2D, and he was using actual AutoCAD, not 3D printers AutoCAD, like Fusion 360 or something. And so it was hard to get him to export it as an STL. He was exporting it as a two-dimensional file, like a DXF or a
yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
DXF or an SVG.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, all these stupid pop-ups. I don't want. Go away. All right. Now that I got that cleared out.
You jamming out to some Rockabye Baby?
I am. Cricket unfair lockdown. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Now, have you heard of this before I start talking to you about it?
I've heard a little bit about it, and I've had some time to think about my feelings on this.
All right, so let's go over and see what they're talking about. Okay, so I had saved this, and I hadn't looked at the story again, and since I had saved it, so it was done on the 16th, and there's an update. There is an
I see
update
that.
as of the 18th. They were gonna have it set for a subscription for their Cricket, so you couldn't use their software without actually being subscribed, which is a pile of
Dog
back
doo-doo.
crap. Back crap.
Well, look what it says. The machine. It says they'll be limited to 20 files a month.
Yeah.
That's what you get for a machine that's not open source, I guess, huh?
I guess, but it looks like they have abandoned the payment plan with the public statement. So
I'm sure they heard a lot.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they got a lot of people telling them, giving them the finger with online comments and everything.
I can't imagine. I mean, I don't know how many other companies there are that make these kind of CNC style vinyl cutters.
Yeah.
But they were about to make a lot of money. Because I can tell you right now, people were going to leave Cricut like crazy fast.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there was a lot of people just mad about it. I mean, just mad. I'm sorry. You already charge for people to use your fonts that you use with Cricut. So it was just ridiculous. But you don't have to use the Cricut software to use your Cricut. You can use the Silhouette Cameo software, which actually lets you do a lot more things, and you don't have for the free version. There is a paid version of it as well, which if Cricut wants to do a free version and a paid version, there you go.
I mean, essentially, they would be doing that, right? Because they said with the free version, you could do up to 20 files a month.
Yeah, but that was the original one. So I'm thinking that they're banning that completely, which would be good because that no one wants to deal with that.
Are you hearing my TV again?
So I've got a Cricket. I am. You're trying to get a hold of the remote. Hey, about time you get home. But I can't hear it. I need to have it up to 40, Dad.
That's plenty loud. It's loud for me all the way in the other room, dude. Sorry.
But I can't hear.
Yeah.
It's got to be up for 40, Dad, for me to hear it. I'm deaf. Don't you know I'm old?
Gee, I watch TV in that room with the volume at like 8. Kids got it cranked up to
I will do
40.
that for Carter's. I will do that for Carter's shows. I'll have it around like 8. But for like things I'm watching, because I'm actually watching it, and it's not, a kid's show that has a bunch of different sounds and sirens and stuff like Paw Patrol, I'll turn it up to like 15 max. That's about it. So, but yeah, so it looks like they're banning it completely. We will find out probably soon-ish whether they're going to do a paid and free version or just have it as it's been. But you can always do a Silhouette Cameo software and you use it that way. So,
yeah, I mean,
which has been a temptation to switch over to do.
I mean, it would be a lot more tempting if they did make you pay for it.
Yeah, because they were about to lose a lot of people.
For sure.
Yeah. And I mean, I've got one because it's a nice compact size that I can have on my desk.
What kind of Cricket do you have?
It's the Air 2. I can't quite remember which one. So, but yeah, that's what I've got. Now the Maker would be nice. I think I got the Air. I think I got the Air.
My mom has the old, like one of the original ones.
Yeah, takes the cartridges.
Yeah, it takes the cartridges. So she's got 8 million cartridges for that bad boy.
Now mine can accept those cartridges. It's got the slot to accept those, but mine also can do direct from the computer. So, which is how I use mine.
I mean, it's so much nicer because you can make your own custom files with it,
Oh yeah. I don't like it. I don't understand why. They would like, I understand they want the money, but your Crickets are already expensive.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chris. So here's our next subject.
I'm ready.
Are you sure? You sure you can handle this? It's a hot topic.
Can you please water?
You want some water?
Yeah.
I'm ready. Go find your water bottle. I'll get you some water. What? Oh, man. I was not ready for that.
I told you. I told you.
I mean, okay. So let's just think about this for a second, all right? Amazon, Domino's, delivering via drone, okay? And I could see, I know there's a lot of people that are all, anti-drone and stuff like that. And so I could see Amazon trying to deliver packages and the drones all getting shot down by dude with a shotgun out in the middle of nowhere, I can definitely see that there is a case to not give legal rights to the drone, but to have some sort of legal rights to the property owner or the owner of the drone. You know what I mean? Have some sort of legal right for Amazon to be able to use those drones. I could see some sort of a partnership with like the FAA or something like that to allow them to use their drones. But the wording on this is such that it would make you believe that the actual robot itself has some sort of human right. And so I'm not sure how they worded it, but I'm not okay with the robots having rights, but I'm okay with the robot owners having rights so that their property doesn't get destroyed while running their business.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you've got a robot that's going around like that delivers food and whatever, and that costs $3,250 to make, or so. Who knows? Who knows how much those are actually going to cost them to make? But I mean, there's this all this stuff talking about it. So there's a suitcase size one for that $3,250. So, but yeah, so it's kind of interesting.
Dad, I want chicken. Dad, I want chicken. Dad, I want
So,
come over here.
So, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Idaho, Florida, Wisconsin.
You to what?
What?
You to what?
Idaho.
Say those states again. You to what? I teach middle school, man. Gotta give me a break. Here, Isaac, right here. Let's give me You never had that joke when you were in grade school? Come on, man.
I was homeschooled, dude.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You missed out on some important jokes, man.
No, we've had that joke before, but dude, that's been years. That's been years.
Let me see.
I'm 34. That's been, I don't even know how long. Lost my spot.
No, back. Back. Like that.
You got it, buddy.
So yeah, they've passed some laws regarding some of the robots. So it's not like they're giving them like legal human rights. They're giving it more of a right of the company.
Like a right of way?
Like the company has the rights that, there's not going to be like pushback against them if something happens to the robots and other stuff like that.
Yeah.
So and because we cannot ever, and I repeat, ever get enough of robots.
Dude, I'm a robotics teacher, so
Oh, I know.
I'm all about the robots.
Hence the
The
robot.
third ever.
The
The
robot.
third ever. Dude, I'm all about it. I've been there it goes. There it is. There it is. Yeah, baby. I have been
Yep, close.
I've been doing a little more research on my Battlebots because Battlebots season finale just hit last week. Last week was the season finale, and that means that they have already started calling for new robots for the 2021 season. And I don't think that I'm going to make it this year, but maybe next year. Maybe next year.
There you go.
I've gotten a lot of good feedback on my robot and what needs to change and what needs to happen with it. And I've come to the conclusion that it's a terrible design and it's not going to do well at all. So I've got to figure out.
That happens.
Yeah.
So there's a company that has automatic transformer. I can actually get my words out right. So it's got little transforming toy robots that will obviously transform into a robot, and they had one that was Optimus Prime and Bumblebee and some other ones. So that was kind of cool. I would like to see it on a bigger scale, but we all know problem with bigger scale is the weight, and so your motors have to be able to handle that strain. Hence the shuffling effect that those robots have.
You just got to gear
In
it.
that video
You just
there.
got to put some gears in, man.
So, all right. So,
Have you tried printing your rubber band powered car yet?
are you talking about my X-Wing?
Yeah, was that what it was? Your X-wing that was a wind-up toy?
Yep. That's what it is. And no, I've got some work I still need to do to finish it. And I was hoping to do it on my Mbot printer, but that has some issues.
Well, maybe you can do it on your new unmentionable.
So,
it which must not be named.
but we will see what I can do with it coming up soon. That's another thing I want to try to do. I want to try to get that finished. I got to revise some stuff on it because I was going to have gears set for the wheels to make it spin and stuff. So I mean, I can do what I wanted to do, especially since I have my resin printer, I could do my gears and not worry about it. But I think I'm going to try to just strive away from the gears and have it just as a it clips on and then it drives it forward kind of setup. So, but then I also have to figure how I'm going to do the wing attachments. I kind of wanted it so I can just glue them on, but I'm probably going to insert a little wedge in there so you can, put a little plastic dowel and then pop it into place so it actually works, or maybe just so it will slide, put a groove or something. I'm gonna change a couple things up so it will hold together like it needs to. So so that will be kind of a nice little thing to try to get done.
I'd like to see. I'm interested still.
That just takes time. So I've got kind of do it and troubleshoot it, but it'd be fun. It'd be fun to do and get kind of tossed out there and just done.
Sounds exciting, man.
So
I've been really thinking about getting rid of one of my printers and getting a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting rid of my unit.
I could probably get you hooked up with a printer.
I wouldn't say no to that.
It costs you a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean time, effort, and all of that.
Be worth it.
Yes, it would. It would be worth it.
It'd be worth it. I mean, as long as it wasn't the $32,000 printer like Joel has.
I don't got that kind of hookup.
I don't think that would be worth it. Because knowing me, I'd be like Joel and I'd break it.
I've got the room for that size of a printer in my garage. 100%. I got room for 4 of those printers in my garage. Doesn't mean I want 4 of those printers or one of those printers, because that just scares the crap out of me on the cost of it.
Oh yeah, but that's
the volume is awesome. I mean, and by volume, I mean it's more of, yes, it will print what is it, like 2-3 feet tall, but it can print like a twin size bed, pretty much. So it could probably print me laying down whole.
Is it that big?
I said probably. I don't know how long it is, but it's huge. So you'd probably have to, cut off my part of my legs and print those separately as well.
I thought it was a meter cubed.
I don't know. I just know it's huge.
Are you familiar with? I think we've talked about this guy before. I think he goes by Neris. Chris Taylor, I think is his name.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned it before.
So there was one time where I was watching one of his live streams and he was talking about he was 3D printing a full-size Joelbot that was supposed to be like the same height as Joel Telling. It was gonna be a full-size print. It was huge, like
Joel's 6 foot, 6'1", around there.
He's like 6. He's 6 something. Yeah. There's a lot of similarities between me and Joel Telling. We're both about the same height. We both shop at the same stores. I've seen several of his videos where I'm looking at the clothes he's wearing and I'm like, I have that same shirt. I have those same shorts or whatever, you know? Difference is he works harder than I do. He's probably a little better looking, but
that's
not
that hustle.
hard to beat this.
That's that hustle. No, you said more successful. That's just that hustle.
Yeah, a lot more successful.
He's a
he's
little bit older. I don't even know. I want to say he's between 37 and 43, around there.
So you think?
I don't actually know how old he is.
I feel like asking him. We need to get him on the show and ask him. For that,
That's
can
the
you
hard
imagine?
part. Is getting him on the show. Getting him on the show
Can
is
you
the hard
imagine
part.
getting Joel on the show and being like, "All right, important question. How old are you?"
I'm quite certain I could probably get him on this show. When that would be, I don't know, because I'd have to ask and schedule around everything. I know when we start our normal show is 8:00 his time, and that's family time. So I'm not going to intrude on his family time, but he is up later at night.
He does live streams like in the middle of the night sometimes.
So you may just have to stay up. I may just have to stay up and do the show with him at a point in time, or record the show.
Or we could do it like we did with Geeky Faye, just do it at a different time slot.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying. We could do it at night. We could do it the next day. Do like a coffee.
Morning coffee.
Yep.
I don't drink coffee, so it'd have to be like sugar-free. I don't know, maybe like a Coke Zero or something.
Okay, well, you don't have to have coffee, but
If you're gonna call it morning coffee, I gotta have something. I don't drink tea either. No.
Well, yeah, of course you're gonna. I know that. So you'll have something. It's whatever you choose to drink, whether it be whiskey or rum or gum.
I also don't drink alcohol, so that doesn't help.
I know. No, I know. That did you hear? I said or gum.
Oh, gum. I'll put
juicy fruit in your mouth.
I'll put Coke Zero in a mug.
Isn't there a Joel Tilling mug? I know there's a Daniel Norey that's got it to where you can put like a bottle in it. Do they have a Joel Tilling one?
I don't know.
I know he's constantly tossed stuff up on there for holding like Red Bull and stuff.
Yeah, his Red Bull thing.
But I can't remember if there's like a 3D printing one that's done. So like a 3D printing nerd one. I just can't think. I don't know.
We could call it Morning Cup of Joe.
Well, I was thinking of something like that. So, because it'd be fun.
I just see. This is the only thing. And I've seen this one before, but it's not 3D printed.
Yeah. So, but no, we do need to get Joe Tilling on here. There's a lot of people I want to get on as guests to do. So, yeah, and I would have gone into a spiel if I had permission to talk about what the package was that I got.
The package which must not be named.
Yes, well, I won't name it right now.
We'll just call it Voldemort.
That works for me. Ooh, I just got this popped up. Apparently, it was from 14 hours ago from MakerBox. Because, I'm just a nerd galore. And I'm going to pop her up and I'll have you actually. Oh.
You'll have me do what?
I can't say.
Great. More
It's family
secret combinations.
It's a family-friendly show. No, I'll Oh, come on. All right, I sent you a link in Messenger to open up and read. I'll pop it up on screen for everybody. But I feel like I'm going to cough if I constantly try to do it.
You want me to read it? Is that what you're saying? Like out loud?
Yes.
Okay. Where do you want me to start?
All right. So, headline is There's no dark matter. Instead,
Information has mass. Oh, this is Neil deGrasse Tyson saying this?
uh-huh. All right, let's see.
Where's your water bottle?
Okay, so there.
Okay.
Theories on dark matter.
The computer. How to
All right,
start
so
this?
let's tell me if you can hear
How
him
to
speak.
start this? Mhm.
Can you hear that?
Here's something. It's real quiet. I probably hear from your speakers into your microphone.
My speakers are in my head.
They're just theoretical speakers. Your speakers are a construct.
5% has no known origin.
That I hear. Yeah.
All right, let's stop it. I'm not sure if I had clicked to share with audio. I think I did. So try to do that constantly, which is why I do it on the laptop, because I can do that. I can't do it on a Mac.
Exists or not,
How's that?
it's
Yeah.
a measurement. Period.
How's that, Chris?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Exists or not. What's going on is when we measure gravity in the universe, the collective gravity of the stars, the planets, the moons, the gas clouds, the black holes, the whole galaxies, when we do this,
Stop.
85% has no known origin. So it's not a matter of whether dark matter exists or not. It's a measurement. Period. Now, dark matter is not even what we should be calling it, because that implies that it's matter. It implies we know something about it that we actually don't. So a more precise labeling for it would be dark gravity. Now, if I called it dark gravity, are you going to say, does dark gravity really exist? I say, yeah. 85% of the gravity has no known origin. There it is. Let's figure out what's causing it. The fact that the word matter got into that word is forcing people to, well, I have another idea. I bet it's not matter. It could be something else. We're overreacting to a label that overstates our actual insights or knowledge into what it is we're describing. And then I just joke we should just call it Fred. Fred or Wilma. Something where there is no reference to what we think it is, because in fact, we have no idea. So here's how you actually measure the stuff. In a galaxy, which is the smallest aggregation of matter where dark matter manifests. So you look how fast it's rotating, and we know from laws of gravity, first laid down by Johannes Kepler and then enhanced and given further detail and deeper understanding by Isaac Newton. You write down these equations, say, oh, look how fast it's rotating. You invoke that rotation rate in the equation, and out the other side says how much gravity, how much mass should be there attracting you. And the more mass that's there, the faster we expect you to be orbiting. That kind of makes sense. So when you do this calculation on a galactic scale, we get vastly more mass attracting you than we actually can detect. I'm adding up stars, gas clouds, moons, planets, black holes. Add it all up. It's a fraction of what we know is attracting you in this orbit. And we cannot detect the rest. And so we hand it this title, dark matter. Understandably, I suppose, but it implies that we know that it's matter, but we don't. We know we can't detect it in any known way, and we know it has gravity. So it really should be called dark gravity. I think the over-under on what dark matter might be today, I think we're all kind of leaning towards a family of particles, subatomic particles, that have hardly any ability to interact with the particles we have come to know and love, quote, ordinary matter. And that would make it matter, dark matter, as we've all been describing it. And it's not a weird thing that you could have a particle that doesn't interact with our particles. Within our own family of particles, there are examples where the interaction is very weak or non-existent. You might have heard of neutrinos. This is a ghost-like particle that permeates the universe and hardly interacts with familiar matter at all. Yet it is part of our family of particles that we know exist and that we can detect and interact with. So if we can have an elusive particle that's part of our own familiar family of particles, it's not much of a stretch to think of a whole other category of particles where none of them give a rat's ass about the rest of us, and they just pass right through us as though we're not even there. Now, here's what's interesting about dark matter. We know it doesn't interact with us, except gravitationally. By the way, what do I mean by interact? Does it bind and make atoms and molecules and solid objects? No, it does not interact with us in any important known way. But it also doesn't interact with itself. That's what's interesting. So if it interacted with itself, you can imagine finding dark matter planets, dark matter galaxies. Because to interact with yourself is what allows you to accumulate and have a concentration of matter in one place versus another. These are the atomic bonds and the molecular bonds that create solid objects. And if particles do not interact with one another, they just pass through, you just have this zone of mass, not really doing anything interesting. So dark matter not only doesn't interact with us, it doesn't interact with itself. And that's why when we find dark matter across the universe, it's very diffusely spread out. It's like over here. It's not in this one spot and look at this concentration. No, That's not how that works. An example of this, what is a rock? It's a collection of atoms and molecules that are stuck together by electromagnetic forces. We don't think of them that way. We just think of them as rocks. But they are held together by forces on the atomic and molecular scale. And they bind together, and then we get what we call the solid object called a rock. If those forces did not work on you as a particle, you have no occasion to bind with any other particle. You have no ambitions of ever becoming a solid object. It's a different kind of world that would be. We would not expect that world to have life as we know it, because life requires an assembly of molecules to turn it into some separate entity distinct from everything else that then has fascinating chemical properties that we call life.
All right, what are your thoughts on dark gravity? I think that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome, actually.
Well, I mean, he brings up a good point, where he talks about how 85% of the gravity that we know exists in the universe, we don't know what its source is. Now, the thing about black holes, because a lot of people think that we don't have any evidence of black holes, but that's not true. We actually have a telescope that has seen a black hole.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about black holes is because they are so supermassive that they actually absorb light, and so it makes them technically impossible to see. But we actually, on the top of the mountain that's right next to my house, we have a radio telescope. And the radio telescope up here on top of the mountain is actually the telescope that proved that there is a black hole at the center of our galaxy. And so the radio telescope reads radio waves and microwaves that are a little bit different from the normal standard light waves that we see. And so they were able to, study electrons as they flow through gases and things like that. Now, the other thing that I think is interesting about the idea that information is matter is really interesting, because when you think about the way electronics work, and you have this copper wire, and essentially a copper wire is just all these little tiny copper elemental units, copper atoms that are all like bonded together, and they form a solid piece of copper. And then when you send an electrical signal on one end, it jumps, electrons will jump from one atom to the next, from one atom to the next, which means that there is an excess of these electrons somewhere that we put into batteries and things. And we're able to take those electrons and manipulate them in such a way that we can create sound, and we can create, entire websites now, all based on this little electrons that are just jumping through different types of metals. And so it's really, really an interesting concept to think about, where is all of this excess mass and matter coming from? Because there are things that exist that we just simply don't know much about.
Yeah. So my live counter just finally popped up, and now it's saying 20 seconds that we've been live.
We've been live 20 seconds?
That's what it's saying, but we've been live because
mine says 59 minutes and 48 seconds.
Yeah, which is just hilarious because I was like thinking, and I was going to say something that it's not showed up on it, but now it's actually counting since one Raz popped up. So hey, one Raz. No, I have not. I've not looked at buying filament for a while. I've got quite a bit of filament. One place that usually does pretty decent sell pricing is Overture. You can get quite a bit for a decent price.
Ziltech is about
Yeah,
you can
Ziltech.
get pretty much anything for $20 a spool there.
Yeah.
Same with like AMZ 3D. They're usually $18-20 a spool. And that's pretty much all you could hope for is about $20 a spool.
Yeah. Some Hatchbox, depending on it, you might be able to find some at a decent $20 or so, usually.
I mean, there was a time when on Amazon you could find lightning deals for like $5 a spool and stuff like that. But I don't recommend those. If you're spending $5 a spool, you're likely to have some problems, probably.
Yeah, a lot of moisture built up in it or something. There's just a bunch of variations that go into those. So
I would stick with some trusted brands like I was saying, Ziltech, AMZ 3D, Hatchbox. Those are some kind of lower end, cheaper filaments that you're going to get about $20 a spool.
Well, Hatchbox is a fairly high end filament, I think, in my consideration on quality.
I don't know.
I've not had any problems with it. It's usually done pretty good for me. So
no, I mean, Hatchbox is a decent filament, but I don't know that I would call it high end filament.
Well, it's higher end. I mean, I don't go and spend as much money as possible on filament, so I try to save money. But
that's true. I guess I wouldn't really know much about the high end filaments.
I'm not going to go out there and buy an actual true high end filament that's got to be on a specific special printer for it.
I would buy a specialty filament if it was for a specific project. You know what I mean, with that cost in mind.
Yeah. What is the name of the one that Calvin showed us that's like really tough that you can beat with a hammer?
Oh,
that one I want to try. That one's kind of expensive, but
yeah,
that's what I think on expensive is something like that you're gonna get like what half a kill for $30-$40.
Yeah,
something like that. So that's what I call expensive, because $20 is the range of what I usually $20 to $25 for a kilo of filament.
Yeah,
so
that's about right. Man, you remember back when Maker Geeks was a thing?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved having them around, especially because they were here, and sadly that went away. And now I do not have any local filament suppliers.
Yeah, that was good times. I still have a ton of Maker Geeks filament, dude.
I've got some still. I've definitely got some. I've got a carbon fill.
I don't. I wish I did. Back when they were first getting shut down, they had sent out, because I did like one of their subscription box, their Maker Geek box, whatever. And they had promised to send a what's the filament that, like the conductive filament? And they had promised to send the conductive filament, and I was like, oh, I'm in. And they're like, we don't have it right now. It's not quite working, but we're gonna send it in the next couple of weeks. And I was like, all right. And then never happened. Oh, so upset.
Yeah, that's another one I want to try. That's what I consider kind of more expensive, is that conductive filament, or the metal filament that's got like the copper and stuff in there. So whenever you expose it to certain things, that it changes color.
Or they have the metal fill that's like 90% metal or something like that. And so you anneal it, and when you anneal it, the plastic melts away and it leaves the metal behind.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there's definitely a bunch out there that I would like to try. There's some really expensive resins that I want to try as well. But when I say they're expensive. They're like 80
Resin
to
printing.
60 to 80 bucks.
So resin printers have gotten to the point where the printers themselves have gotten cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, but the raw materials that you use still don't seem like they've gone down much.
I disagree on that part. They have gone down some. They've gone down enough to where, I mean, I spent $20 on half a kilogram of liquid resin, so half a spool of filament for the ABS like resin compared to the PLA like resin, which I would still have been paying around $39 to $40 for it if I got the entire kilogram worth of the ABS like resin compared to the $20 I think $20 to $25 I paid for the PLA resin itself, which I do like the ABS like resin. It does have tougher qualities. My part that I've been printing, I did a PLA print and I dropped it. I literally dropped it and it broke. I dropped the ABS one and it didn't break. And this was on carpet that it broke. And then so I took the ABS one and dropped it outside because it's got that weak point that I've showed you. And that weak point did not break for the ABS, not even on concrete. And I held it above my head. And I'm 6 feet, I'm 6'2", so I held it about 7 feet up off the ground and just dropped it.
Yeah, so that's interesting because I need to do my video. I need to make my video. I need to do it. I just need to do it. I'm gonna create some files and I'm gonna send them to you so that we can get them resin printed and try them out. I got a bunch of bowling balls just sitting there in my shed, and I need to go drop them on something.
I think we can do that. That wouldn't be a problem.
Maybe sometime if you and I ever get together, we can collaborate and drop some bowling balls on some 3D prints.
That would be fun. That would truly be fun.
It'd be
But
a
yeah,
blast,
I will
dude.
definitely. I need to get some nylon based. Yeah, nylon based resin, and try printing with that, and see how that holds up in comparison.
Right.
So, but we will see. We will see how all that does. It'll be definitely an interesting thing.
It's gonna be a fun video for sure. Did you ever watch that Tom's 3DP video where he made those bulletproof pucks out of 3D printer filament?
I did.
That's another idea that I'm thinking about, man. It could be interesting.
That would be kind of interesting to try.
So my timer is saying 1 hour and 10 minutes we've been doing this. And I don't know if you noticed.
I believe it's been about that.
But I got a 3-year-old that is still not in bed that I need to get to bed. I'm
Oh
talking
no,
about
I've
you.
noticed. So we were just talking about. I had found that and figured that dark matter really was something I want to talk about since we already talked about STL travel on this show. But yeah. Also, I'm going to order something and send it to you that will help you immensely. Sound good? It's going to be worth it, trust me.
It will help me immensely
For the show.
for the show.
For the show.
Is it some melatonin for my kid?
No, just give him a shot of whiskey. Just rub it. Just a dab there. That'd be mostly for your 18th month for her teething. Just rub it on the gums.
I have heard of that.
Yeah, that's
I've
the
heard
that's
of
the only thing I've heard of for doing that, other than so. I don't have anything that hard in the house, so hardest thing I've got is wood.
I've got some steel. I've got some steel.
I don't have steel in the house. Well, I mean, yeah, if you consider my knives and stuff, but
My windows are glass. Glass is
Yeah.
harder than steel.
but wood is harder than glass.
That is not true.
I can break your windows with this, Chris.
Yes, but breaking a window does not mean how hard. PLA is harder than ABS.
Well, this is true, but
That's what I'm saying. Glass is harder than steel. It's more brittle, but it is harder.
it's more brittle. Yeah, there, I'll give you that.
Same thing as wood. It's harder than wood, but it is more brittle.
So, but I mean, once you add more thickness to it, then yeah, it's better. It's because it's thin. Make it that thick compared to that thick. Half an inch, not so tough. Still tough, not as tough as 2 inches or 3 inches. So,
One Raz, to be clear, I love my kids. I got 3 of them. It just really bothers Aaron because they're always up and running around and being crazy while we're in the middle of a stream.
it doesn't really bother me. I can't hear what you're saying at times whenever they're screaming. That's the only problem. Because my son's been up and around during the show, so
My kids are a little crazy. This is because for you guys, daylight savings time hit this last week.
yes.
And so everyone had to change their clocks. But in Arizona, we don't do daylight savings time. So to you guys, 9
it's an
o'clock
hour
is
later.
9 o'clock or it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock is 10 o'clock. To you guys, it's the same time that the stream starts. For me, the stream starts an hour earlier. So last week for me, it started at 9. This week it started at 8, which means it's an hour earlier for me and all my kids are still awake instead of usually, I could try to get them to sleep before I do the stream or something. So
Oh yeah.
just a little different. I have 3 boys, but they're all grown up and moved out. I got 2 boys and a girl. They're not moved up. They are not grown up and moved out. Some of them act like they're ready to be moved out, but they're just little tiny kids now.
That's funny. But yep. No, definitely. It's always a fun, interesting time around kids. So, but all right.
Kids are the best.
Oh yeah. One Raz, thank you for joining. Brian, I don't know if you're awake or asleep. You just said that, honey, you were home and that was it. You must have, gone and just passed out. So, all right. Well, everybody, thank you for joining. We'll catch you next week on Chris's show. on Chris's channel for the AC show, I should say. So we will kind of figure out what topic we're going to talk about between now and then, and hope to see you all there. All right. Happy making. Take care. And we'll catch you on the flippity flip.
We'll see you guys.